The VLGA's Victorian Councillor Census is back again in 2025. All councillors in Victoria will be emailed the census on the 6th of October and will have until the end of the month to complete. In its second year, the annual census captures and tracks councillor demographics, attitudes and the key challenges to local governance over time. You don't need to be a VLGA member to participate, and at no stage will the VLGA have access to an individual's responses. The findings of the census will inform, influence and lead conversations across local government and with other tiers of government, and all responses will be fully confidential. This is your chance to have your voice heard as a councillor. The Councillor Census is part of the VLGA's commitment to support councillors on their journey to be successful community representatives. Coming up on the Roundup, suspended, a Surf Coast councillor to sit on the sidelines for 1 month. A win at VCAT for Wyndham City Council, Geelong to show its colours in AFL Grand Final week. A remote New South Wales community votes for its first new council in more than a decade. The home of Tamworth's famed Golden Guitar under review. New deputy mayors elected across New South Wales. The latest from Townsville's mayoral dramas. And Hobart Council reviewing its position on an AFL stadium. Hello, I'm Chris Eddy and welcome back to the Local Government News Roundup, a brand new week of what's happening across the local government sector around Australia and beyond, brought to you by the Victorian Local Governance Association, the national broadcaster on all things local government, with support from Symphony 3, simple, connected customer experiences. Good to have you with us on the Local Government News Roundup, wherever you're listening from across Australia or around the world. Surf Coast Shire Council will be short one councillor for the next month following an internal arbitration process leading to the suspension of Councillor Paul Barker for misconduct. The suspension follows incidents including a controversial Facebook post where Councillor Barker publicly questioned official attendance figures at a truth-telling event and questioning the council's honesty and integrity. The allegations of breaches of the Code of Conduct were brought by the council's mayor, Councillor Mike Bodsworth. Independent arbiter Diana Price found that Councillor Barker's conduct brought discredit upon the council and risked the loss of public trust. Councillor Barker, who also sent an email to journalists criticising the conduct of a council meeting, defended his actions as promoting transparency. Ms Price said Councillor Barker repeatedly stated that the public's trust in local government is deteriorating, but couldn't see any connection between his own behaviour and the loss of public confidence. She also noted that he does not lack an understanding of the code, but chose to disregard it and is not willing to apologise. She therefore has not directed him to make an apology or undergo any training. The 1 month suspension will take effect after Tuesday's council meeting. Melbourne City Council's controversial security guard program is set to continue next month despite growing criticism from homelessness advocates. The Age reported that the $2 million initiative is set to replace the current contractor, Crown Land Security, with 10 permanent guards to patrol the CBD. The Homeless Persons Union of Victoria has launched a petition against the program, claiming it unfairly targets homeless people and criminalises poverty. Local health service CoHealth has also raised concerns, but Lord Mayor Nick Rees has defended the program, citing nearly 40 incidents of violence against council staff in the past 2 years. The security guards will primarily accompany local laws officers serving compliance orders, targeting aggressive begging, street drinking and drug taking. And the City of Melbourne has demanded that the Department of Transport and Planning release traffic modelling justifying delays to Westgate Tunnel mitigation projects. Northwest City News reported on concerns that major projects funded under a $100 million transport amenity program remain in limbo because of the modelling. Some minor intersection works are scheduled to begin this month, but major projects such as the Hawke Street Linear Park remain stalled and timelines for progress are unclear. Eastern Melbourne councils are facing staggering increases in climate-related damage costs, according to projections revealed in the National Climate Risk Assessment and reported by the Ferntree Gully Star Mail. Scott McHenry, Executive Officer of the Eastern Alliance for Greenhouse Action, says local governments are at the front line of climate hazards but lack adequate resources to manage the growing risks. A 2023 report commissioned by the Alliance found damage costs for outer eastern councils will rise dramatically by mid-century, with Yarra Ranges facing a 199% increase, Maroondah 212%, Knox 178% and Cardinia 160%. Wyndham City Council has received approval from VCAT to demolish the fire-damaged Kelly Park Hall, defeating a challenge from residents looking to preserve the building for its social heritage value. A spokesperson said the council would take steps to preserve elements of the hall's history to ensure that its legacy is not lost. The council's decision to demolish the hall after a 2022 fire was made public in early 2024 and later deferred before a December decision to replace the hall with a like-for-like refurbishment. Hindmarsh Shire Council has reported an error in its 2025-26 rate cap calculation. Described as a minor non-compliance, it's resulted in an excess collection of $3,949 across the entire rate base, equivalent to less than $1 per property. But Mayor Ron Ismay said the council was taking the error very seriously and is prioritising correcting the error through a proportionate decrease in rates collected for the following year and putting processes in place to ensure it doesn't happen again. Bayside Council has passed a resolution to address and recognise anti-Semitism in its community. The council's resolution includes endorsing the International Holocaust Remembrance Alliance definition of anti-Semitism and acknowledging the increase of anti-Semitism within Bayside. Additionally, the council has committed to exploring strategies for meaningful action and affirming that the safety and inclusion of the Jewish community is an integral part of Bayside. And the city of Greater Geelong is showing its colours this week as the Geelong Football Club vies for its 11th AFL-VFL premiership and its second in 4 years. Mayor Stretch Contell said the council is rolling out the blue and white everywhere across the city. There will be billboards and banners at various locations, Go Cats projection lighting at City Hall and a live site at Eastern Beach on game day. Rounding up more Victorian Council news, Ararat Council is celebrating impressive community participation in Australia's blister pack recycling program, Pharmacycle, with residents and local businesses diverting nearly 40,000 units from landfill in 2024-25 alone. Work has begun on the $9.6 million Cowes Foreshore Precinct project, which will deliver improved infrastructure and pedestrian-friendly features. The project will be delivered in 7 stages, and Bass Coast Shire Mayor Rochelle Halstead said it would strengthen Cowes as one of Victoria's premier visitor destinations. And Maribyrnong City Council has opened applications for its 2026 artist residency programs, offering creatives in Melbourne's West the opportunity to develop their practice through 4 distinct residency streams at various community venues. The programs provide artists with stipends, dedicated spaces and community engagement opportunities. Now, moving on to our New South Wales report, and after more than a decade under administration, residents of the central Darling Shire in the far west of the state have finally headed to the polls in what locals are calling a long overdue return to democracy. ABC News reports that the council, which covers the state's largest geographical area but has its smallest population of just 1,700 residents, was placed under administration in 2013 over financial mismanagement issues. In an unusual arrangement, voters will only elect 3 of the 6 councillors, with Local Government Minister Ron Honig appointing the remaining 3, including the chair. Among the candidates running are a former deputy mayor, several Barkinji community members, and the son of the first Aboriginal councillor elected to the Shire back in 2008. Counting is underway, with results to be published progressively by the New South Wales Electoral Commission. The Mayor of Tamworth says the famous golden guitar is not going anywhere for now. The council will tackle the future of Ray Walsh House at this week's meeting, with Mayor Russell Webb set to present a mayoral minute seeking a detailed options paper. The paper will explore all possibilities for the asbestos-contaminated building, including remediation costs and potential alternatives. The council will also consider investigating a new administration building and visitor experience centre at the current site of the Australian Country Music Hall of Fame. 2 expressions of interest have already been received for the site, and the Mayor promises community consultation, including a town hall meeting, before any final decisions are made. He's assured the community that there are no immediate plans to move the Visitor Information Centre or the Golden Guitar. Wingecarribee Shire Council has renewed General Manager Lisa Miscampbell's contract, recognising her leadership in delivering significant infrastructure projects and organisational improvements since her appointment in 2021. Deputy Mayor Erin Foley said the renewal of the contract reflects the organisation's progress, Council's confidence in its leadership and its commitment to stability moving forward. Some Deputy Mayor elections to report at Kempsey Shire Council. Councillor Annette Lawrence has been elected unopposed as Deputy for the next 12 months, replacing outgoing Deputy Councillor Julie Coburn. At Tweed Shire, Councillor Rhys Burns is the new Deputy, taking over from Councillor Meredith Dennis, who nominated him for the position. He'll serve in the role for 1 year. Councillor Brett Nolan has been elected Deputy for 12 months at Narrabri Shire Council. Outgoing Deputy Brett Dickinson elected not to nominate for another term. And there's a new Deputy Mayor at Canterbury Bankstown. Councillor Rochelle Harika steps into the role for the 3rd time, succeeding Councillor Carl Saleh, who held the position for the past year. And there's a new councillor at Broken Hill City Council after a countback election. Blake Edgecombe was declared elected last week, replacing Ashley Byrne, who resigned in August due to work commitments. Maitland City Council is collaborating with the New South Wales EPA and 20 other councils on a Get the Site Right initiative, targeting harmful construction practices by inspecting building sites and issuing improvement notices for non-compliant erosion and sediment controls. The council says the compliance rate has slightly improved from previous inspections, but 76% of sites remain non-compliant, highlighting the ongoing need for better practices to prevent construction waste from polluting local waterways. And Clarence Valley Council is exploring an environmental special variation that would add approximately $35 to annual rates starting July next year, with funds directed exclusively towards 75 vital environmental projects identified through community feedback. The council is currently engaging with ratepayers to gather views before making a final decision on applying to IPART. More New South Wales Council briefs. Tweed Shire Council will mark Ageism Awareness Day on the 9th of October with a campaign and community event featuring keynote speaker Joanna Maxwell to challenge one of the most common yet least recognised forms of discrimination. The Tweed has one of the highest proportions of older residents in the state. Edward River Council has adopted a 2050 Fast Track for Growth strategy, a comprehensive framework to guide sustainable development across the region for the next 25 plus years. The strategy was developed through community consultation and is based on the recommendations from the 2023 Sefton report. And Byron Shire is investigating the installation of solar-powered batteries on community facilities to provide energy back to the grid and serve as backup power during emergencies. The initiative has been led by a community battery working group and will involve a feasibility study to determine suitable facilities, community benefits and cost estimates. And the news rolls on this Monday edition of the Roundup, episode number 494. Townsville's suspended Mayor Troy Thompson will not be eligible to run in a by-election if he is removed from office, according to the Townsville Bulletin. That was confirmed by Queensland's Local Government Minister Anne Ley on a visit to Townsville late last week, after issuing Mr Thompson with a 2-week show cause notice. Minister Ley said under the Local Government Act, a councillor, which includes a mayor who's been dismissed, cannot be a councillor for the remainder of the term. Mr Thompson has said he would appeal any judgment and has raised concerns about the minister potentially using confidential Crime and Corruption Commission material for what he calls political action. Meanwhile, the council's ambitious International Wedgwood exhibition has fallen significantly short of financial expectations, according to the Bulletin. It's been revealed that the Wedgwood Artists and Industry exhibition, showcasing rare ceramic pieces from the renowned Wedgwood collection, cost the council $800,000 to host, but only generated $140,000 in ticket sales. Despite attracting nearly 8,500 visitors during its 5-month run, it's been described as a swing and a miss. The council has defended the expenditure, noting the costs were managed across existing exhibition budgets over 2 financial years. Bundaberg Regional Council has scrapped a plan to turn 26 hectares of green space into an affordable housing estate, declaring the proposal unfeasible due to high civil infrastructure costs and limits on potential lot numbers. ABC News reported that the council will move to integrate the entire parcel into the neighbouring Baldwin Swamp Environmental Park. Mayor Helen Blackburn said the community's opposition has been heard loud and clear. Environmental advocates have welcomed the backflip as a massive relief, while Regional Housing Limited says it will keep working with the council to identify alternative sites to deliver much-needed affordable homes in the region. And Burdekin Shire Council has lost its building certification capability after its last in-house certifier retired. According to the Townsville Bulletin, recruitment efforts have thus far failed, forcing the council to outsource to a third-party provider until mid-2027. The situation reflects a nationwide shortage of skilled construction professionals, including certifiers, although the Association of Australian Certifiers says residents will likely see no difference in approval outcomes despite the change. In news out of Tassie, Hobart City Council is meeting today to review the Tasmanian Planning Commission's findings on the Macquarie Point AFL Stadium project, according to Pulse Tasmania. The project has so far cost ratepayers more than $180,000 in consultancy fees, and the council is on record as having serious reservations about the project. Despite the Commission recommending against the stadium due to potential debt concerns, Premier Jeremy Rockliff remains committed to the project and plans to submit an order to Parliament to progress the stadium on November 4th. Claudia Baldock, a councillor from Tasmania's Latrobe Council, has appeared in court charged with making a false statutory declaration and false statements, according to a report from The Advocate. The alleged false statements relate to comments allegedly made by Mayor Peter Freshney during a council meeting last year. Councillor Baldock, who was elected in 2022, has pleaded not guilty and will defend the matter on the basis that there was a lawful and proper basis for her statement. Despite the criminal proceedings, Acting Mayor Vonette Mead confirmed that Councillor Baldock will not be stood down from the council while the case continues. It will return to court in November. In South Australia, Light Regional Council has welcomed the decision by Local Government Minister Joe Zasaks to reject boundary changes that would have transferred Hewitt to the town of Gawler. Mayor Bill Close said the decision recognises the importance of preserving community identity and avoids $1.2 million in annual costs to the council. He said the outcome supports regional collaboration over division, aligning with the Greater Adelaide Regional Plan's goals while preserving local community integrity. And Kingston District Council is mourning the passing of Councillor Chris England, who served the community for 30 years, including 8 years as Deputy Mayor. The council said his voice of reason and experience will be deeply missed. His funeral will be held tomorrow at Kingston Town Hall, with the scheduled council meeting adjourned to September 30. And in WA, an Aboriginal elder's artwork has been incorporated into staff uniforms and the reception foyer at the city of Coburn. Auntie Nita Knapp's Footprints on the Waters, Budja to Kep, Healing Through Spiritual Connection, symbolises the community's commitment to reconciliation with First Nations peoples. The vibrant blue and teal design depicts the waters of Belia Budja and represents an important step in implementing the city's Innovate Reconciliation Action Plan. You can see the design in a photo courtesy of the City of Coburn in our show notes. And now for some news beyond our shores. Let's go to the UK firstly. Leicester City Council has voted against abolishing the directly elected mayor position, which has been held by Labor's Sir Peter Soulsby since its inception in 2011. Claims of power concentration and service failures were behind a push from Conservatives and Greens for the change, according to BBC News. The mayor argued that the issues were not related to the governance system and the mayoral office might be eliminated anyway through upcoming government restructuring of local councils. On that topic, North Somerset Council has taken the first formal step towards devolution, exploring potential membership of the West of England Combined Authority. Councillors have authorised the leader of the council to develop and consult on a proposal that is in the interests of North Somerset residents, businesses and partners. In a statement, the council said the shared economic geography of the west of England and North Somerset, together with established cultural and transport links, means Wyndham remains the council's preferred devolution partner. Meanwhile, BBC News reported that the council has spent £6,000 removing St George's Cross flags from road markings and taking down unauthorised flags, an amount that could have filled 200 potholes. Liverpool City Council has been repeatedly targeted by Russian state-funded cyber hackers over the past 2 years. Yahoo News reported that attackers have been using bots to try infiltrating or disabling council systems. But despite the persistent threats, the council's security measures have been effective, preventing any successful ransomware attacks for 9 years. In Canada, the City of Toronto is planning to build taller buildings and increase density in 120 major transit station areas as part of a strategy to reach its target of 285,000 new homes by 2031 and address the ongoing housing crisis. CTV News reports the plan will allow 6-storey apartments within 200 metres of stations and implement inclusionary zoning policies that could potentially create 53,000 new affordable homes for essential workers and residents. Ryan Reynolds, the Vancouver-born actor and philanthropist, has received the Freedom of the City Award, the highest honour bestowed by Vancouver City Council. The award recognises his worldwide representation of the city and significant charitable contributions. Reynolds, who has previously received the Order of British Columbia and the Order of Canada, received the award in a private ceremony in the council chambers on Thursday. He said he's deeply grateful to be recognised by the city that gave him his start. And from the US, in Ohio, Munro Falls City Councilman John Impellizzeri has resigned following backlash over a controversial Facebook post about Conservative leader Charlie Kirk's assassination. The Akron Beacon Journal reported that Mr Impellizzeri claims to have received death threats since the post, but the local police chief reported no threats to his department and was unaware of threats to other city departments. Carden Wickoff, a local disability advocate, has been appointed to fill a vacant Atlanta City Council seat until the end of the year. Wickoff is the chair of the city's Accessibility and Inclusion Task Force and will assume the role for just 104 days, ahead of an election in November in which 6 candidates will compete for a 4-year term on the council. And that's just some of the stories making news around the world of local government today. This has been edition number 494 of the Local Government News Roundup, recorded on Monday the 22nd of September. If you have comments or feedback, you can send an email to lgweeklynews@gmail.com, and you can find out more about this episode at our website, lgnewsroundup.com. You'll find a transcript and all the story links there. The podcast is brought to you by the Victorian Local Governance Association, the national broadcaster on all things local government, with support from Symphony 3, simple, connected customer experiences. It's recorded in the city of Greater Geelong, Victoria, on the land of the Wadawurrung people of the Kulin Nation, and we come your way every Monday, Wednesday and Friday. Until next time, thanks for listening, and bye for now. Support for our podcast comes from Symphony 3, which has announced exciting news. It's launched its innovative Smart Glue platform on the AWS Marketplace. That makes the secure and affordable integration solution accessible to government agencies worldwide. The platform includes over 50 pre-built connectors specifically designed for public sector systems, government APIs, enterprise solutions and AWS services to transform citizen experiences by breaking down data silos. Smart Glue delivers operational excellence for local governments through cost reduction, process optimization, improved decision-making and scalable architecture, all while maintaining comprehensive security and compliance standards required by public sector organisations. Get in touch to see how Symphony 3's expanded team and solutions can support your goals. Head to symphony3.com to find out more.